Hey y'all, it's Brittany from Enjoy the View Travel. Welcome to the channel. Let's cruise Enchanted Princess Edition, New England and Canada.
Good morning. It is officially Boston Day here on the ship. We have lots to talk about today, lots to go over, and so we're going to start. We're going to start with breakfast. We went to the main dining room for breakfast this morning. So as you can see, we got omelets, eggs Benedict, which I heard were really good, and then pancakes and all the sides. So excellent morning. We love to start the morning with breakfast in the main dining room. You hear a lot about the buffet, and to be honest, we've not given the buffet the biggest shot. Just because I'm not a huge buffet person anyway. I am the one at my house that does all the cooking and, all of that. And when I think about going out to eat somewhere, I don't think about going to a buffet, because to me, that's me having to get up and me having to fix my plate. When I go out to eat, I'm wanting somebody to wait on me, because I'm the one at home who does the cooking, who makes the plates, who puts everything on the table, that kind of thing. And I'm like, if I wanted to do that, I would just stay at home. So I am more of a sit down, order, it's brought to me meal. Now that means that it takes longer, because at the buffet you can go up, grab you a table, your party can go and get what they want, come back and eat, and you're gone. When you go to the main dining room for breakfast, it is a more relaxed time, and you have courses with that as well. Like you can order kind of like appetizer type things. I typically will order fruit, and that will come first, and then your main dish. So we just like to kind of take it easy and relax. Now, if you are going on an excursion, and your excursion leaves early, then yeah, you need to get yourself up and go to the buffet and grab you something to eat before your excursion. That's understandable. And I will say I tend to eat at the buffet more on Celebrity than I do on Princess, because Princess has the embarkation day lunch, whereas Celebrity does not. You have to be I think it's called the All Access on Celebrity for the dining room lunch. Otherwise, on Celebrity, you are eating buffet for lunch, or up on the Lido deck at the pizza or the grill for lunch. So we like to just take our time and enjoy breakfast and have an easy go of it. They will bring around juice. They will bring around coffee, water. You can order drinks. So mimosas, Bloody Marys, I think, are typically popular. I do not drink Bloody Marys because me and tomatoes are a no-go. So you can have the most relaxing time that you want. And there you go. So we love the dining room breakfast. It's always very good. I am 9 times out of 10 going to get the omelet. But you never know. Maybe I'll branch out some. All right. So it's Boston Day, and we're playing cards. Let's talk about why. We did have an excursion planned for today. However, our excursion was already canceled before we even got on the ship, before we even left for the cruise. It was actually canceled a couple of days before due to the government shutdown. So my husband was extremely disappointed, because we were going to the JFK Library, and he is a big presidential buff and wants to go to as many presidential sites as he can. So he was excited he was going to get to mark this off of his list, and that did not happen. So what we did instead was we had a backup plan. And we were planning to go and get an Uber or a taxi and head down to Quincy Market. But if you can look out the window, it is raining because of the nor'easter. So in fact, it rained pretty good, pretty steady, pretty at times hard all day long, and was extremely windy and everything. And I was like, I just don't think we're going to chance this. And so we decided that we were going to stay on the ship and enjoy and do things around the ship. And so that's what we did. And so we always bring Skippo with us. That's a game that we enjoy playing. And so we went and found us a table. This table happens to be at Sabatini's. And actually, when they put games and stuff out, I think Sabatini's is one of the areas that they will put out like board games and card games and things like that, and you just you can go and use them in that area. So there were other people who were playing games as well, card games and whatnot beside us. So we had a really good time. We all just went and got us some drinks and played cards and had a really nice time, since we could not go and do our excursion as planned, or our backup as planned. So always have a backup for your excursion, just in case it gets canceled. They can be canceled for any reason. Not enough people are doing the excursion, they can cancel it. So just have a backup plan in your mind, just in case something happens and your excursion gets canceled. Well, obviously, we're not going outside today. Don't forget to take pictures like this, though, because they're memories, and it's going to, trigger what happened on, your trip. So don't forget to take photos like this every now and then, so that you have something to share of, oh, look how wet it was, and look how rainy, and, we couldn't get off the ship, and blah, blah, blah. So, don't just take pictures of the sunny days. Take pictures of what's actually really happening. So after we played cards for a while, it was lunchtime. It's always time to eat on the cruise, right? And so we went to Alfredo's Pizzeria again. They were open on the port day. And so I didn't take pictures of our appetizers because it was some of the same that we had gotten before. I think there are only like 3 choices on the appetizers, so that was the same. But we have the Hawaiian pizza here, and then I got a pasta this time. I've not tried their pasta before, so I thought it was something different, and I had pizza the last time. I did have a little bit of Momo's pizza though, to try that out, because Hawaiian is one of my favorites. But this was ravioli, and it was some kind of a sage sauce. It was really good. I would not hesitate to get it again. I think this is what my mom got last time. I think she got pasta. And then I don't know, for some reason we didn't take a picture of it, but I got a picture this time. But the portion size for the pasta is smaller. I mean, it was still plenty. But it did allow for me to eat. I didn't eat a full slice. I ate just a little bit of one. Had we cut it in half maybe, or maybe even smaller than that. But anyway, so it didn't let me try that. But yeah, it was really good. I would recommend that you try it. I was a little concerned about the sage sauce because sage is not one of my favorite flavors. But it was really good, and I would definitely have it again. So I took advantage of having some downtime and walked around to a couple of different areas on the ship. It's still raining, but not hard, so I could go out and get a couple of pictures of Boston that weren't over on the port side where our room was. So I went to the other side of the ship and got some pictures of the other side of Boston from the ship. A lot of times we get so wrapped up in the things that we're doing, whether it's, trivia or, an activity, and we forget to look at the other side of the ship and see what the other side has to offer. So be sure that you are taking advantage of that and you are getting all the angles so that you have lots of stuff that you can share and look back on from your trip. Well, believe it or not, we have already made it through our day here in Boston, and we have already been told that we will be staying again another night. We were supposed to be leaving at a particular time, and the weather has gotten worse, and they have actually closed the port due to the rain and wind. So we will be staying overnight again in Boston. And earlier in another episode, I showed you these large screens that they have between the elevators, and they'll have stuff displayed on them. And this was our display for today for Boston. And so I wanted to grab a picture of that to share with you. So we are headed to dinner, and we're going to be staying in Boston again another night. So we were just informed that not long ago, and so now we're headed to dinner. So tonight we're eating at O'Malley's Irish Pub. Now that is not a main dining room, and it is not a specialty dining room. It is actually one of the casual dining options. You do not make reservations here. It is a walk up, first come, first serve. So one of the things you want to know about O'Malley's is kind of small, and there's limited seating. So you want to make sure that you will get there early to get a seat. So we did not get there early enough this time. The first time we went, we were on the Enchanted back June of 24. This is now October of 25. And we got there early enough to get a seat, just barely. So you really do have to get there way before they open. I want to say that they start taking food orders at 5:30. And if you don't get there by 5 o'clock-ish, you're probably going to have to wait. So we had to wait. So the guys went and found them some seats out in the piazza, and we stood in line and waited, because you kind of have to. It literally is first come, first serve. Even there's a line, there will be people who try, to go around you and to get to tables and stuff. So you do have to kind of keep an eye on that and pay attention. Now, we had been standing there waiting for a while, and when this one table decided to get up, one of them came over and got me, and she says, "We know you guys have been waiting a while." She said, "We wanted you to get our table." So we went to get their table before they actually cleaned the table off. So that worked out well. But they have a full menu of really good food. We've enjoyed the food that we had previously here, and we enjoyed it again tonight. So let's see what we had. All right, something to note about O'Malley's, because it's casual, you do have the $14.99 charge for if you want appetizer, main course, and dessert. That remains the same. However, O'Malley's also does a little bit of a la carte. If you just want some appetizers, or if you just want to go and get desserts, or even if you just want to go and get main entrees. So they do some a la carte also, but you can do the $14.99 for the appetizer, entree, and dessert, which is what we did. And so we got a couple of orders of the onion ring towers, because they're really good. We like onion rings anyway, and so if you like onion rings, they are good, and definitely was just getting them. In fact, that is typically the only appetizer that we get when we are at O'Malley's. All right, this is Killarney stew, and basically it is a beef stew over mashed potatoes. It's really, really good. Paul and Mom had this last time we were on the Enchanted. And so everybody was all psyched about getting it this time. And then right before we were going on the cruise, there was a lot of talk from others about that O'Malley's was no longer carrying this. It was not on the menu, is what we were told by a lot of people. And so we were like, that kind of stinks that it's not on the menu anymore. And then right before we left, some people were talking about that it was on the menu. So we were like, well, we'll just have to wait and see when we get there. And so luckily it was on the menu. So we were able to get that. So Paul got it again. And then Mom and I also got it, but we also wanted to try something else. So one of us got this and one of us got something else, and I'll show you that in a second. And we split it so that we had some of each. So don't be afraid to do that either. It allows you to try more things. So that's what we did. But this is Killarney stew. Okay, so the other thing that we wanted to try was the fish and chips. So we kind of split the Killarney stew and the fish and chips and had us a good old little meal. Both were very good. The Killarney stew, excellent. The fish and chips were also excellent. Which one's better for you? Probably the Killarney stew is healthier for you because it's not all fried like the French fries and the battered fish, but both were excellent. And I would totally do this again where we split 2 meals because it just, I mean, we usually only eat at O'Malley's one time while we're there, just because it's so hard to get into. Now, if you're on one of the newer princess ships like the Sun or the Star Princess, their O'Malley's is larger, but I imagine that it runs into the same problem of that it's hard to find a seat at dinner time. So keep that in mind. So we only eat there once usually. So this lets you get a couple of different things. And even if you wanted to go further with that, if there's more of you at your table, more than 2, you could go further with that and, split something else to try that. My dad tends to get the burger. They have a really good burger, which Dad and I both had last time, but he got that again. That's coming up in just a minute. But I also went back from our pictures from last time, and I had taken a picture of the menu last time. Menu is the same. It had not changed. So all the people who were saying that Killarney stew was off the menu, I don't know what that was about. But I wanted to show you the menu because I told you could do some things a la carte. So if you just want starters, those are $5 each. If you just want mains, those are $10 each. And if you just want desserts, or what they call afters, $5 each. They also have a drink menu with some specialty drinks and things like that. But I wanted to show you the food menu. Now, if you still want to do the actual meal at $14.99, that's fine. And I neglected to say on the previous slide, but I did include it in writing on there, that this is an included if you have Princess Plus or if you have Princess Premier. If you have Princess Premier, you have unlimited casual dining. If you have Princess Plus, then you have 4 casual dinings per cruise. So you could go to O'Malley's twice. You could go to Alfredo's Pizzeria twice, and that would take care of your 4. But also remember that some of these things can be split. Like, for example, at Alfredo's, you could use one and you guys can split it. I believe that is what we were told when we were there, is that you could split. And then that would give you an additional time to go. Maybe you pay for an extra dessert or an extra appetizer. But anyway, just an idea. So anyway, this is the fish and the chips and the Killarney stew that we split. All right, so this is the last main for us to talk about. This is the O'Malley's burger. It does come with the pub fries, as you can see there. And then right behind his bottle, there looks like there's 2 pieces of something fried. It's fried shrimp. So it comes with fried shrimp, and I think they were like skewered on top of the burger. So it comes with that. Very good. He has had this before. I had it before. I just took the shrimp off and gave it to somebody else because I don't eat shrimp. But it's a very good burger. So I definitely recommend doing that and getting that and trying it, especially if you're a burger person and like that. It was really good. All right, we rounded out our meal tonight with Irish apple cake and 6-layer Guinness chocolate cake. Both very good. Now, I didn't eat the apple cake. I'm not a very big cooked fruit person, so but those that did have it said that it was very, very good. So desserts, 2 thumbs up. So we spent our evening after dinner kind of the same way we do every evening, bouncing around from here to there, trivia, game shows, things like that. And tonight, as we were walking around, I've told you before about the screens that they have. They have some that are by the elevator, and others they'll have throughout different spots. And so we came up and I said, "Hey, look, that's us." And so they were showing some of the professional photography that had been taken, and reminding you to go and view and purchase your photos and whatnot. And so I took a couple of pictures on the screens because our pictures were up there. And I just thought that was funny. My mom was like, "How do we get up there?" And I'm like, "Well, they put us on here." But anyway, so that's just something else interesting that you can see around the ship. And so we're going to close out tonight in Boston yet again. And the plan is to leave tomorrow. Tomorrow we are supposed to have another port day. We're supposed to be in is it Maine? I think we're supposed to be in Maine. Tomorrow, we'll see what tomorrow brings. Again, we are staying overnight in Boston because the port is closed. So, of course, the port would have to be open for us to leave in the morning. And so we will find out tomorrow what happens. So we will see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching Let's Cruise Enchanted Princess Edition. Be sure to visit us at enjoytheviewtravel.com. Hit that like, share, and notification bell. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode.